Now the prayer. Om, Om, Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्च चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापित्यत सर्वं त्रिलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितं भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुवन्ति दैवैः स्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ज्ञानावस्थित तद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगुणाः गणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुच। So with this and a short dhyan, we will go to the uh, Gita's lecture. But let's go to our short dhyana. The purpose of this dhyana is to concentrate for the following Gita's lecture. So 30-second, totally shut down the mind and a couple more minutes just to cool down. Om. 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 This, again, this importance of this 30-second dhyana is when we begin this chapter 3, we finished chapter 2 last time. We are going to observe the level of dhyana Arjuna is exhibiting. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read those two first stanzas from chapter 3 without doing the Sunday or meaning of that, just to read, and then I want to ask the question. So the first and second stanzas of the third chapter goes like this, and you will just listen to that. Don't try to understand the meaning. I will tell you all of that. Jayasi chit karmana hate mata buddhi janardana tat kim karmani gore mam niyojayasi keshava. That is the first question he is asking. But there is a parallel question here. Vyamisrena vyakyena buddhim mohayasiva me tadekam vada nischitya yena sreyoham mapnu yam. There are two things happening here. Number one thing, in the second chapter, he asked a very potent question, Sthita Pragnasya Ka Bhasha, and we went through 18 some slokas to answer that. These are two more questions coming in the beginning of chapter 3. And two of the things occur to anyone's mind. Number one, hey, there is the army right in front. Extremely terrible scenario. And this person is asking a couple of another questions. He doesn't see all those army generals standing in front of him. And he might have as well asked Sri Krishna, Keshav, there is no time for this, all these stanzas, slokas, and explanation you are going through. These people are waiting. There are dual reasons here. One is the level of concentration or dhyana he is exhibiting. Forget about the time, whatever may be happening to that right now. But even in the moving time, he doesn't see the army. He's asking two another potent questions here. Level of his dhyana. His dhyana is only in what Sri Krishna is speaking, nowhere else. One of the important lessons I think we want to learn from here, and including myself also, I'm not preacher, I'm not advising you. I'm just saying that we, all of us, can see the dhyana needed to either listen or read or think, whatever. Not exactly the same level as Arjuna is exhibiting. Like we don't have any army sitting outside the window, outside the house. Nothing is worrying here. But there was the terrible scenario there, and the person is exhibiting infinite level of dhyana. And the second thing which I have not completely answered, because the time was standstill. And we will just give a 8th grade explanation through a formula that you can stretch the time to any level you want. But I'm not going to do that right now. The reason is we still haven't built the infinite image that Sri Krishna has. Slowly, after the beginning of this chapter 3, I think we will be building his image, and in the Vibhuti Yoga, we will see who he is. And until then, I'm not going to exhibit that puny formula. That is in the minds of the mortal. So these are the two things I wanted to say, and now I will go, as usual, doing the Sandhi and the word-by-word translation and see what is Arjun's questions here. That question is also going to exhibit his memory. We will challenge ourselves, see if we have the memory. He says, Jayasi means superior. Chit is a word for if. Karmanaha te mata buddhihi janardana. Janardana. He's saying Janardana, dispeller of the ignorance. You meditate on Sri Krishna. He will dispel, he will remove the level of ignorance we are exhibiting every moment. Second name is coming in the second line, Keshava, one who removes the miseries of the people. These names have very potent meanings, and I think in translating, we will not just say Janardhan, but rather we will understand that he is the dispeller of ignorance, and the car, the darkness. He removed that. So what is Arjun asking here? Hey Janardhan, hey dispeller of the ignorance, te mata buddhihi means according to your thinking. Buddhi is better than actions. Karmanaha, Panchami Vibhakti, 5th declension. According to your judgment. You said Buddhi is better than actions. Then he is asking the direct question. Tad kim? Then why? Karmani gore mam niyojayasi keshava. Gore karmani. Gore is the adjective. Karmani is the 7th vibhakti. It says, why do you engage me or pushing me in these terrible actions? Where did he remember? Buddhihi jayasi karmanaha. Buddhi is better than actions. Where did he remember that? Do we remember that? Let's ask ourselves. Was there any stanza before in 2nd chapter? which said so? We forgot. This is another dilemma I would just like to mention. When you will be reading the Gita, this is how I do. Just an example. Not going to brag about that. Mostly every month I complete one cycle of 18 stanzas. Again, begin with first to the end. Again, begin with the first to end. I'm like when I read, it's in the rain time, the car wheels are barely touching the road. They are mostly driven on the water. So I may not have to even read the slokas, I flip the page and I know what stanzas are there. So it goes in the mind and keep going on kind of thing. What will happen as a result? Whenever the question will arise in your life, what am I supposed to do here in this kind of situation? And this thing comes to everybody in life. And there is a stanza pop in front of your head very clearly. And you smile. Oh man. So all the 700 stanzas then will become like a very big wasp. They will spin around your head. They will. Very enjoyable experience. All of these efforts we are doing here, studying Gita, then probably Upanishad or Brahma Sutra or whatever. I'm not going to talk about any miracles here. However, I was listening to life of Sri Shankaracharya at the age of 7 when the crocodile caught his leg. And the only way you can extend your life is by accepting sannyas. And after that, so many episodes he went through. He went to Omkareshwar across from Narmada River to meet his guru in the cave. And there were like a bunch of guys sitting outside whose beards were touching the ground. And Shankaracharya asked them, where is Bhagavad Pad? The people outside said, oh, we haven't seen him. He's in the cave. If you want to see him, just go inside. Many, many episodes which are mind-boggling. Don't think that only Sri Krishna could do. Same thing like Gnaneshwar. Somebody challenged him, hey, if everybody has the same soul, the same Nirgun Brahman, and then Sagun Brahman, whatever, make this buffalo speak Veda. And he put his hand on that buffalo's head and said, hey, speak Veda. And he did. These are the graces of Sri Krishna. So the question Arjun asking here, and the question occurred in our mind is, where is that slok? That slok is in the second chapter, somewhere nearby that Karmanyeva Adhikaraste. That sloka says, Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya. That is the slok. You can flip your book and find out. It is in a couple of stanzas distance from karmanyeva adhikaras. In that slok, Sri Krishna was praising buddhi, then karma alone. And Arjun remembered that. And that's why he is beginning this chapter with that question, that why are you pushing me in this terrible action if buddhi is superior? So that is one question. The translation of this sloka is, if it is believed by you, te mata, means believed by you, your mat, your opinion, according to your opinion. Oh Janardhan, what is the opinion? That knowledge is superior to action. Your opinion is that Jnana is superior to karma. Why then do you, O Keshav, enjoin on me this terrible action? It is really a marvelous question. The second thing, he's straightening out his friend. Look at how friend would talk to a friend. No formality, just kind of rubbing each other's skin. Look at how he does. Vyamishreణ vakyena buddhim mohayasiva me. Vyamisreణ, by perplexion. Vyamisreణ eva, like you are perplexing. Eva means like. Vakyena buddhim mohayasi eva me. You are clouding my buddhi, my understanding, by your perplexing way of speaking. See a friend talking to a friend. Then he says, Tad ekam vada. Therefore, just speak one thing. Tad ekam vada. Nishchityam. With a definite style. Yena sreyaha aham. Sreyaha means, I explained in the last lecture, giving the example of Kathopanishad. Shreya and Preya. Preya look good in front. Shreya doesn't look that good. For Shreya, you have to put your mind, you have to think. So what Arjuna is asking, hey, therefore speak only one thing with a definite thing, which is Shreya, which is supreme for me. And I get that supreme. So these are the two questions, very, very important questions which we could have asked, remembering that Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddhau sharanam anvicha krupanaha phalahetaha. That was the stanza Arjuna is referring here. So this question, that why are you then, now? So he didn't ask that in the second chapter. He's asking here because he had to ask that sthita prajna's characteristics. So he is asking here by remembering that previous stanzas. And Sri Krishna, when he was saying buddhi is better than karma alone, at that time, and there was no room, so he is moving to the third chapter. And in the third chapter, especially dedicated to karma yoga, means he's going to elaborate completely all the loose ends, which was not described in second chapter. So this chapter is thoroughly about karma yoga, and we will very patiently go through. Not only we will go very patiently, but if someone is reading or someone is experiencing the Gita first time or not very thoroughly before, might want to, with a piece of paper, just want to make some notes also. That I like the karmani without fruits, but I also want to add buddhi in the karma. And now there will be more elements coming here, and we will go one after another. So the third stanza then, loke asmin loke, means in this world. See the style of Sanskrit, it is putting the adjective after the loke. Loke is a seventh vibhakti. In the world, it says. Which world? Asmin. In this world, dvivida. Dvi means two. Vida means two different ways. Nishta means two different paths, two different ways of doing certain things. So Sri Bhagavan then started saying, he's clarifying now everything. He's not letting any loose ends there. He's going to clarify to nth degree. Loke asmin vivida nishtha pura prokta maya anaga. Anaga, that is Arjun's name. Ragavagarno, spotless, no spot, no dago, totally clean person, anaga. And also Sri Krishna is speaking in the passive voice. He doesn't say, I spoke. He says, Maya Prokta, spoken by me, he says. What a style. He didn't say, I spoke. He did not want to use the phrase I. That is why he is using the passive voice. Loke asmin vivida nishta pura prokta maya anaga. Hey anag, hey spotless. Before it was spoken two different ways in this world. So he is clarifying Arjun's dilemma. Gnana yogen sankhyanam. Gnana yogen, third vibhakti. By yoga of knowledge, gnana. Sankhyanam. There are two kinds of people here. One class, they are very analytic mind. They want to analyze everything. They need the proof of everything. They go mathematically. So that is why he says, Gnana yogena sankhyanam. Actually, sankhya is coming from the word sankhya. Sankhya means number. And wherever there are numbers, that is mathematics. So Sankhya Yoga means the yoga developed by analytical methods. Different sadhus, different munis, different yogis in the jungle mostly. They used to sit down and they argue with each other. And that is called the analytic way of arriving at the truth. That is why Sri Krishna is saying, Gnana Yogen, by the yoga of Gnana, by the yoga of knowledge, Sankhyanam, to those who have analytical mind. But then, Karma Yogen Yoginam, the action, the yoga of action for the people who are hyper. They always want to do something. They cannot sit. So there are two different kind of people here, and he therefore spoke to those two groups of people in two different ways. So first he clarifies that. So the translation it goes like this: the twofold path was given by me. Twofold, two different ways. O sinless one, O spotless, to the world in the beginning, the path of knowledge to the analytics, and path of work to the active-minded people. So he did that. Now, when he's saying Pura, and that question is coming later on, what do you mean Pura? Means you are born right now, and um, what do you mean by Pura? Means did you come before also? So that explanation will come later on. Further he goes, Na karmanam, બીજી વિભક્તિ બહુવચન અહીંયા આગળ છે. ન કર્મણામ અનઆરંભાત. An means not. Arambat means by beginning. It is a fifth vibhakti. Naiskarmyam. So it is a big sandhi here. I would split one more time. Na karmanam anarambat naiskarmyam purushaha asnute. He is explaining. By not doing the action, it doesn't mean that there is a non-performance occur. Somebody may think, well, I'm driving the car. Yeah, but you are thinking something else too, you know. So he's putting more emphasis on what is in your head. Nacha sanyasanat, and not by only sannyas, by renouncing. Sanyasanad eva siddhim samadhi gacchati. This samadhi has nothing to do with samadhi, first of all. Please don't misunderstand. Samadhi here this word has prefixes. The real dhatu is gam gacchati, and there are two prefixes, sam and adi. When you just hold them separately, sam and adi, they would not mean much. But depending on which crude form of root it goes and attach, it will make a composite meaning. Samadhi gam, for example, is the root here. Samadhi gam. And gam will convert into gacchati. Third purus ekvachan. Samadhi gacchati. Gam gacchati means to go, but samadhi gacchati means get. See the difference? From going, the meaning is converted into to gain. Siddhim means perfection. So there is a dilemma here. by not doing the karma, it is not that it is said non-performance. And the same way, by renouncing also, you don't get perfection. Why so? It's coming in the following stanza. Nahi kaschit kshanam api. Nahi kaschit kshanam api. Because, he means because. He's continuing from the previous stanza. By doing the sannyas, you don't get any perfection. By doing no action, you are also not getting inaction. So it's the opposite thing he's bringing, and that is why he's saying because. He begins with nahi, not because. So that is the translation of nahi. Kaschit kshanam api. Kaschit, not a single. Kaschit kshanam api. Not a single moment. Jatu means verily, means indeed. So indeed has a emphasis here. Not a single moment goes. What does he say then? Tisthati akarma krut. There is not a single moment when action does not result. What a marvelous thing he is bringing. Without action, nobody lives. The action goes all the time. How does it go? Karyate hi avashaha. Again, he is there in the Sandhi. Karyate hi avashaha. Karma sarvaha prakruti jaihi gunaihi. Prakruti jaihi is adjective. Born in the Prakriti, but it has the same declension as Gunaihi. That is why there is Jaihi and Gunaihi. Prakriti Jaihi Gunaihi means it is a third vibhakti, so it is by gunas which are born in the Prakriti. Jayati means janambu, to be born. Prakriti Jaihi, born in the Prakriti. Who are born? Gunaha. Those gunas which are born in the Prakriti, by that karyate avashaha. Without your control, the karya is going on. Even though you think that you are not doing anything, but the karya is going on. What a marvelous explanation here. We think we are sitting, not doing anything many times. No, no. The karya goes on. Okay. Karya goes on, then what happened? He is going to weep that someone is not doing karya, someone is not doing any action. But according to Sri Krishna, there is action going on, and he's going to say how the action is going on. And then how he is hypocrite because he believes that I'm not doing anything, but he's doing something. So he says in sloka number 6, karma indriyani sanyamya. So what this guy is doing now? He's controlling the senses. By controlling the senses, yah aste manasa smaran. He's sitting. He's sitting by controlling the senses, but manasa smaran. By the mind, he's smaran, means smaran karvu, means thinking. So look at this. He's doing two things. He is controlling sanyamya. He is controlling karmendriyani. He is controlling the senses of the actions by the mind. But what does he doing? Indriyarthan. But about the sense objects. He has controlled the senses, but the sense objects, what is he doing with them? Indriyarthan vimudhatma. See the word, see the phrase, the powerful phrase he is using, vimudhatma. Deluded, he says. And why deluded? He is actionless, but in the mind he is thinking. How is he thinking? By controlling the senses. But what is he thinking? In the mind, he is thinking about the objects of the senses. Therefore, Krishna is using the phrase mudhatma, ignorant man. Mithyacharaha sa uchyate. Is pronounced as hypocrite. What a whip he is using. And definitely, the reason he is using the whip here, mithyachara, hypocrite. The reason is he's trying to awake such an ignorant, the person living in the dark. He says, hey, wake up. You are still doing some action. Don't think that you are not doing action. This is a marvelous, marvelous stanza. Okay. So you are all alone by yourself in your room, just like I am now. My family has gone outside shopping somewhere. I'm sitting here. And while talking about these stanzas, if I'm also thinking about something, oh, what would they bring for me? you know, like that. I'll just give you an example, something like that. No, that is hypocrisy. That is what Sri Krishna is saying. So, whatever you do, for example, if you think you are not doing anything, then absolutely don't do anything. I tell you one thing. Carrying out the life according to Sri Krishna's implementable slokas. In the beginning, it is impossible because you never had that tuning that I want to live everything according to Sri Krishna's Gita. Another question I want to pose here. If we don't want to live according to the Gita, then we don't want to be hypocrite. We just want to read and don't do anything. We don't want to be hypocrite. No. We want, if you want to study, if you want to read, if you want to listen, slowly, slowly we want to implement in a very later part somewhere, he's going to say this thing. I'm jumping, don't try to flip your pages. Shanaihi, Shanaihi. He is giving comfort to a person who is trying but is not successful. For that person, he is saying this thing. Shanaihi, Shanaihi. Shanaihi, Shanaihi. ऊपर में बुद्धिया धृति गृहीतया आत्मस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किंचिदपि चिन्तयेत्. For those people who are trying but not getting any success, he's saying shanaihi, shanaihi. Slowly, slowly. ऊपर में बुद्धिया, bringing the buddhi. Atmastham manah krutva. Put the mind in the self, in yourself. Na kinchidapi chintayat. Before you finish this stanza, you will see that na kinchidapi chintayat. So I think what I'm trying to say that there are a lot of implementable stanzas coming now. Implementable means practical. And that is the sole purpose of our gathering here. Going to the seventh. See, the Sandhi is marvelous here. It says yastvi. It says yaha tu. And tu means but. Yaha tu indriyani manasa niyamya arabate Arjuna. Karmendriyehi karmayogam asaktaha saha vishishyate. What does he say? But he excels, O Arjun, who restraining the senses by the mind, unattached, direct his organs of action to the path of work. So, in the stanza, what he's saying is, if you keep the mind unattached, but then put the sense objects to work, he excels. So now he is explaining how to do the work. Don't be a mithyachari, but do the work like this. So he's pointing out what kind of mistakes we can do. That we may close the doors, sit all alone, but then thinking about 1 zillion things, that is mithyachar. He says, no, don't do that. Put the senses and put it in the mind, and the sense objects put to work. Niyatam kuru karmam. Tam karma jayaha hiya karmanaha. Shari yatra api chatena prasiddhyad akarmanaha. He is emphasizing to do the obligatory work, whatever work like we do puja, havan, whatever. We go to work honestly. And so the advice is keep doing the work. By not doing the work, on the contrary, you will not maintain your body also. So he is saying, engage yourself in obligatory work, for action is superior to inaction. And if inactive, even the mere maintenance of your body would not be possible. Okay, I'm going to read this sloka number 9, and I will not go over that. We will stop here for the question and answers. Yagnarthat karmana anyatra loka ayam karma bandhanaha. Tadartham karma kvanteya mukta sangaha samachara. This is a marvelous stanza. It's saying that whatever karma, whatever action you will do, which has no sacrifice behind, that will bind you, karma bandhana. Therefore, you do the karma mukta sangaha samachara. Without associating, you do the karma. We will go next time, we'll begin with stanza number 9. But right now, we will stop for a couple of questions, and then we will have our usual prayer, and then after stopping the recording, we will talk with the Sanskrit friends. Okay, so the questions, please.
Hari Om Amarji, very good explanation, very nice.
Hari Om, Hari Om, thank you very much. It is a great pleasure to have your darshana here. Your presence is creating a lot of vibrations in the atmosphere.
I want to listen to you, that's why I came. Thank you.
Oh man.
आपके चरणों पे प्रणाम.
That's why I keep saying that I have no special qualification. I'm one of all here. So my friends, let's go some question here. Don't leave everything for Arjun. Otherwise, he's going to ask very heavy duty questions for Sri Krishna.
Namaste, Amruji.
Namaste, Deepak Bhai.
I think there are 2 other listeners, Arjun, except Arjun, Sanjay and Dhritarashtra also.
That's true.
Then
That is actually.
Can you elaborate at later that what effects Sanjay or Dhritarashtra has gone, because 3 listeners simultaneous, I think, according to Gita.
Right.
You will explain at your convenient time.
Yes. The, there are 3, but Sanjay is like an instrument transmitting signal. He does not have the direct.
Okay.
So it's okay. He's listening. He's just transmitting whatever he's listening to Dhritarashtra. And then Dhritarashtra is not listening directly from Sri Krishna. He's listening through Sanjaya.
So the effects of Arjun and Dhritarashtra might be different.
It is not only because of the medium of transmittal, but it is also because of their mental state. You and I, for example, both are listening, but we both have different mind. And according to the mind, the perception would occur. So no matter whether Sanjay is speaking or Sri Krishna is speaking, but whoever is listening, it is the condition of that person's mind because he's the receiver.
Excellent.
I would not give so much importance to Sanjay speaking or Dhritarashtra is listening. Dhritarashtra began with a tremendous prejudice. Mamakaha. He uses the phrase mamakaha, mara, mamakaha. For the Kauravas, he has the affinity. And then like Pandavas, they are somebody else. Pandavaha cha. He did not say mamakaha Pandavaha. He could have said that. He didn't say that. The beginning was with the full of prejudice there. He only wanted to hear the good story from Sanjay about the Kauravas. Did not want to hear that Bhim has torn apart Dusasana and is tearing apart his chest. He did not want to hear that. He always wanted to hear when Bhishma or Karna is killing Arjuna. That was his single most goal. So these are instruments, Sanjay's instrument. Sri Krishna and Arjuna is a totally different pair. There is no such pair anywhere. So it's a different story, and I would not comment on their perception. They are divine people.
Right, excellent.
Does
Thank you, Abdul.
Does it make sense, Deepak Bhai?
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
Okay. All right then.
The question I was thinking about while you were giving this explanation is when you said that whatever Krishna was saying to Arjuna, we are the listeners indirectly because of reading the book. We are reading the dialogue between Arjuna and Sri Krishna and reading the translation and the commentary that's in the book. But is there a way to make the mind more receptive of the underlying message? Can I train my thoughts, my mind, my attitude, or whatever, that I can get the underlying message without any interference from my mind. I don't know if I put the question right, but I'm sort of wondering how can I increase my mental understanding of what you are saying or what I am reading.
Well, there are two things. The commentaries are many times misleading. And my personal philosophy, I cannot advise anybody, is to directly read the words which came out from Sri Krishna's mouth. It has so much potency embedded in the words that you don't need any commentary, first of all. I'm not denouncing any good philosophers or good saintly people or good realized souls. That is not the point I'm making. The only point I'm making is direct words from the mouth of Sri Krishna. Number one thing. Don't worry about you may know Sanskrit or you may not know. Don't worry about that part. But first we want to read what Sri Krishna is speaking in whichever language. The second thing, which is directly connected to your dhyana. I'm going to take part in the Gita. Momentarily in a corner, you stand, totally in a quiet fashion, shutting the mind, talking to Sri Krishna. Hey Janardhan, dispeller of the darkness, ignorance, Janardhan. Hey Janardhan, before completing this statement or this sentence, I'm trying to speak. Hey Janardhan, hey Janardhan, and maybe you don't say anything. Your mind will be cooled down. Don't worry about that. And I'm not a Vaidraj here giving you any medicine, but all of the Vedic rituals, they are true. You surrender, you pray, things happen. See, one other thing is the spirituality business is not academic. As I gave the example of that Gnaneswars, that buffalo started speaking Veda. Yesterday I was listening a lecture about Shankaracharya. And at the age of 7 years, when he was going from south to crossing Narmada River to Omkareshwar to meet his guru, There was a lady blocking the way, and in the ditch across, there was a dead body lying. And Shankaracharya ji requested that woman, could you please not remove this dead body? I have to cross. I have to go crossing Narmada River. And the lady said, hey, Shankaracharya ji, you believe in Nirguna Brahman. So in the sub also it is Nirguna Brahman. Talk to the corpse, the dead body. It will go away by itself. These are not skeptic minds stories. These are real. Many. There are many episodes. And one of the main goal. What is our goal here?
Ultimately,
Not to study the Gita
Putting in practice.
or the Upanishads or Brahma Sutra
Implement that.
for fashion. No, I want to be completely merged into that. Do like Ramakrishna did. He took the sword and went in the jungle and told Kali Mother that if you don't appear, I'm going to cut my throat. I'm not asking you should do that. Showing the level of intensity and sincerity. Swami Vivekananda used to say, if somebody just give me a couple of times food, I want to eat and then sit in samadhi. He saw the Advait everywhere. And so I think this is still a beginning in the Gita. As we go on, we reach that Vibhuti Yoga chapter. And then we will have the transformation. And that is the reason I'm not giving the answer about that zero time, etc. That zero time, etc. is only an 8th grade of equation. I can give it right now also, but I want to first bring the glory of Sri Krishna, glory, and then we will tackle the different things. So is it okay?
thank you. It is
Any,
very nice, very clear
yeah.
and very helpful. Thank you.
See, pardon me, I'm speaking at times. I kind of keep my jaw open and don't speak a word. And the reason behind that, as if I'm doing that in your place, that is the only reason. So we have gathered here, I tell you, this is a marvelous time going on. And one of the things Vijay Kumarji laid a
Yes,
stone for us to build from there. And that is what we are doing, building piece by piece. But one of the thing, my enjoyment is I'm myself learning a whole lot by associating with you, so I really have to thank you all also for giving me that opportunity to do this. But I think after this, if time permit and the situation is favorable, I have the desire to go like Upanishads. My favorites are Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Kathopanishad, Mandukya Upanishad. They will bring us to the real truth kind of thing. So think about this. This Gita is the beginning. The Vedantic philosophy, you cannot probably describe by words also. And one has to really experience that instead of saying anything about that. So one more question and I will stop here for Prarthana thing. So please say something and there are very good questions coming here, so I'm really glad. No more question, that's okay. Then we will go to our closing prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityor Mamrutam Gamaya. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Hari Om Amar Bhai, very good. Thank
Hari
you.
Om. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hari Om everybody.
Hari Om Vivek Kumar ji.
Hari Om Padmani ji. Good to
Hari
see
Om
you.
Amrit ji.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Okay, then I'm closing this session and we will continue next time. But nice seeing Vijay Kumarji, and it is a real encouraging things to kind of see you here. So thanks all.
Amrita Bindu Upanishad says, Mana eva manushyanam maranam bandha mokshayoho. Bandham and moksha is all because of mind only. The type of mind you have, you have bandha. The type of mind you have,
Yeah.
you have moksha. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Hari Om. Thank you very much.
Hari Om.